Here's how to get the sharpest and highest quality video out of your camera, regardless of what camera brand you are using. The first thing we're gonna wanna do before we change any settings is to make sure our camera is in video mode. Just make sure you're in the mode that actually captures video. Now, don't move too fast because usually if you put your camera in video mode, it's going to prompt you in what kind of exposure setting you want to set. And so make sure that you set that to manual exposure. If you're using a Sony, you can hit the FN button in the back of your camera and find the exposure mode there, or you can hop into the menu and change it to manual from there. The next setting to change is your resolution and frame rate. Now, most cameras that come shooting 4K video won't be set to 4K, which is a weird thing. So you just wanna make sure that you change your resolution to 4K if your camera has it, and then the frame rate to 24 frames per second. The only caution to using 4K is if your camera has a huge crop when you select 4K, like a Canon M50 or something like that. In that case, just select 1080 24p. The next thing we're gonna dial in is our shutter speed, which is the number at the bottom left that is a fraction number. So we're gonna change that to 1/50. When you are looking at your camera, scroll the various wheels your camera has so that you can manipulate that number and just bring it all the way down to 1/50. The next thing we're gonna change is the aperture, and this is how we get that nice blurry background. I would just encourage you to scroll that number to as low as possible for now, and then we can adjust it later. Next, you're gonna change your ISO from auto or whatever number it is down to 100. Just scroll it all the way down, and your image might be a little bit dark right now, but that's okay. Now let's make sure that you're always in focus. When it comes to your focus settings, you want to affect two things. The first thing you're gonna want to affect is your focus mode. Just make sure that it's set to continuous if you have a Sony, or if you have a Canon, that is set to servo. After you've locked in your focus mode, then you're gonna select focus area and just set that to wide. Now, most cameras nowadays have what is called face and eye detection. And if you have your focus area and focus mode set to this, simply tap on your face and you can rest assured that you're going to be in focus and super sharp. Now we're just about halfway setting up our camera to produce some awesome video, but I just wanna thank the sponsor of this video, and that is StreamYard. StreamYard is how we live stream here on Think Media, the Think Media podcast, as well as our private Facebook groups. We actually use cameras like these to live stream, and it produces an awesome look. But StreamYard makes live streaming so easy with the ability to bring on guests to conduct interviews, or even the ability to conduct a presentation and share slides and videos, and then add transitions to make it look very professional. We absolutely love StreamYard, but if you wanna try StreamYard yourself, be sure to check out the link down in the description below, or just go to streamwiththink.com. Now we wanna make sure our color looks just right. We're gonna change our white balance from auto white balance, so wherever you see AWB, we're gonna change that to K, which is Kelvin, and we're gonna change that number from whatever it is to 4800. Changing this setting will make sure your skin tones look true to your skin, and so that you look like you really are in person. But you wanna make sure that your light that you're using is shooting at a daytime temperature. The lights behind me are very warm. You wanna make sure you put a wider or cooler light on your face to make sure that your skin looks a-okay. The next thing we're gonna dial in is very important, and that is your audio gain settings. If you have a mic jack input in your camera, you can adjust your audio gain, and we just wanna take it off of auto and put it at the level you need based on the mic you have. I am using a Sony ZV-E10 with a mic that is plugged in right into the camera, and I have my mic gain set to 13. Usually most mics, this is where I keep it, but the best rule of thumb is to do an audio test and make sure that your audio levels aren't peaking or too low. Keep it around the -12 number and you'll be good to go. But before you hit a actual shoot, just make sure you do an audio test, hear it back, and make sure that it does sound good. Now, once you have your camera set up, you can now introduce your light or your lights into the shot, and then we're going to adjust our exposure according to lighting. Now, my light isn't on full blast. I have it at about 20%, and my ISO is at about 200. And so if you want to brighten up your image, just increase your ISO. If you want to darken your image, in that case, increase your aperture to darken your image. And between those two things, that's how you adjust your exposure according to your lighting conditions. Now, I hope you got value in this video. And if you wanna see a full breakdown of my current setup that I use to film this video, then you can do so by clicking or tapping the screen, or check out another video from us here at Think Media by clicking or tapping the screen.
I'ma need safety. Tell the op can't snake me. Ray gun off safety.